What's up guys, Valence Ring here, and I wanted to bring you another video on Nukaland. So this is actually kind of a slightly different one. You may have seen my original one on Nukaland gameplay, and I did give a lot of tips and tricks for battling in Nukaland and what you're trying to do. It's an hour long, but definitely it's worth watching through if you have the time to basically get some of the basics, especially for battling. But this video is going to be a little bit different because I've recently got Headquarters 30, and now I'm in the top tier of Nukaland. So if you're unfamiliar, let's talk a little bit about it first. So Nukaland, as you can see, I actually just finished it. I was hoping to see the event information, but basically you have to have level 19 plus headquarters, and then you can see up here where they're ranked together. So from 19 to 24 you're ranked together, 25 to 29 headquarters levels are ranked together, and 30 to 35 are ranked together. So previously I was ranked, my headquarters was 29, I had pretty good gear and everything for where I was at, so I was at one of the top tier or higher might players in my Nukaland event. So I definitely went to battle, I fought for boxes and things like that, and that's the gameplay that I showed you. However, now I'm at the very bottom tier. So what can I do when I'm a lower tier, lower might player in Nukaland? How can I still compete? How can I still get the most rewards and get some of those epic hero choice cards that I really need for my frags for Mantis, Agent X, and Tomio? So that's what I want to talk to you about. That's what this video is all about. This is Nukaland for lower might players, at least comparatively in the event. So if you're at the bottom tier, middle tier, and you're not the highest might player, then this video is for you. And even if you are the highest might player, I want to break down the most important aspects of Nukaland and the tips and tricks that go with it. So first things first, as you can see here, I did finish, and I actually ranked, my rank was 6th. I was almost 5th. It was a really close battle, but as you can see, I finished in 6th place. And I don't know if any of you are familiar, but Andrew 6666 is one of, if not the highest might player in the game. So I'm in Nukaland with one of the toughest players there are, and a lot of these guys have really high might, or at least headquarters level 35. So how did I do so well? Now, obviously, I can't show you inside Nukaland because I'm not currently there. But what I'm going to do is show you outside in the territory here and pretend, use your imagination, let's pretend this is Nukaland, okay? So you have the wasteland area in Nukaland, and we'll pretend these zombie layer here are the ore boxes. If you're a lower might player in your arena, in your event, then you need to ignore these. You don't want the center hub, the big mine in the middle. You're going to ignore that. You're going to ignore all the boxes. You're going to ignore the wasteland, as a matter of fact, altogether. You're not going to be very effective there. There's no reason to waste your time on it. So what can you do? This is an event all about gathering. Now, the gathering boost, swift gather, and things like that aren't going to help you, and it's not going to affect anything, and actually gathering time is set. So that's something that's important to understand, but also know that you're not going to get any bonus or benefit from any boosts. So you have to just gather, and the higher the level, for instance a 7 or versus 6, is going to determine the speed at which you gather and the amount at which you gather. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about preparation. Before you even go into Nukaland, two things I want to mention. One, pick a time slot that you're going to be able to be on for the full hour and that you're going to be able to get on early for. Okay, you want a couple minutes to prep, and that's what I'm talking about right now is preparation. You want to put on anti-scout. Now, this can be counterproductive, but the idea is you don't want to give anybody any information about what you have on hand, resources or troops. You want people to have to guess because there's a better chance that they're going to leave you alone. Now, there is a chance that they say, well, I can't see what's in there, so I'm just going to hit them to find out. You can't escape that. If they're going to hit you, they're going to hit you. So use anti-scout if you have it, if you can. Put that on first. Then you want to put on your military boosts, okay? If you don't have any and you don't want to spend the diamonds, go in here to your alliance shop, go under the military tab, buy the 10% troop attack and troop defense boost. Even if you don't plan on fighting, it's a good idea to go ahead and have at least these 10% boosts on so that you're more prepared and can fend off weaker attacks without any trouble. So now you're prepped, now you're ready to go. As soon as the event opens, you want to go ahead and jump in. Hit the relocate button. It'll be over here in the corner. Jump into the event, and it's going to relocate you to a random spot. The first thing you need to do is to evaluate your position. Okay, so let's say, where's my sanctuary? Here I am. So it pops me in, and I've got all these sanctuaries around me. Some are smaller, some are bigger, some are my size. Okay, whatever the case may be, I don't want to be in a crowded area like this. I want to come down to a different area where there's not as many sanctuaries and there are plenty of resource spots, okay? Like maybe here. And then you're still going to have to deal with other sanctuaries, so you can't worry about it too much. You just don't want to be in a spot where there's 5 or 6 in a very close proximity. And you also don't want to be close to the wasteland. So this is the wasteland, and in Nuka there's also a wasteland. Make sure you go ahead and get a little bit away from it. Now, the further out you go, the lower the resource spots, the lower the level is going to be, and you don't want to be too far out. So if we were to pretend that this map here was the Nuka map, okay, let's get rid of some of this stuff. As you can see, the resource belts, it's going to drop off similarly to this. The highest level ore mine is a level 4, and it goes 3, 2, 1. Ones are virtually... they're at the edge of the map. There's plenty of them. You can always gather ones, but they're not really worth much. You're not going to get max rewards. What you really want is to be near the center, but not directly up against the wasteland, not too close to the wasteland, okay? So make sure you're centered a little bit away, but as close to the center as possible on the outside ring, okay? So once you've done that, you found a good spot, you got some resource tiles that you can see, level 3s at least, hopefully some level 4s. The first thing you want to do, relocate to that spot, immediately start gathering. You want to send out 5 marches, if you have 5. If you have less than 5, send out how many ever you have, 2, 3, 4, whatever the case is. Send out every march to a resource spot. Now, it's important to note, you can see someone here sending out gatherers. If you see gatherers headed out to a resource spot, you don't necessarily want to occupy that same spot. It's important to make sure that you're not initiating battle. It's going to happen. Collisions will occur, but you want to avoid collisions if possible. And that's one of the other things for prep I would recommend. Come into your alliance shop, go to the other tab, and in here, you'll be able to find these recall troops. Okay, they're 40,000 alliance coins. I know that's not cheap, but you should have at least 2 to 4 on hand. This will save you diamonds, and if you absolutely have to, you'll be able to recall some troops. I recommend having a couple of these on hand anyways. As you can see, mine says own 0. That's because I used mine in Nukaland. So let's say you're marching to a resource spot and you see someone else happens to be headed the same way. Now, if you think you're going to land first and you want to go ahead and try it, then go ahead and try it. Just let it march and see what happens. You might lose that spot. It's important not to fight over spots. If you land, they end up winning, send to an open spot. Find one that's open. Don't fight or worry about resource spots. Even if it's a level 4, you're like, it's a level 4, I really want it. Believe me, more level 4s will spawn. Fighting over resource spots costs too much in troops, heals, time, and everything else. The most important thing you can do for this event is to play the event, okay? And this event is about gathering, not about attacking. So as long as you're gathering, as long as you have troops, all 5 marches in a resource spot gathering, and you're in the best resource spot you can find where you're located, level 4s and level 3s, and go down. Start at the top and work your way down to whatever you have to. If you're gathering and gather the entire tile, then you're going to get the bonus ore for gathering the entire tile. And you're not going to be wasting time not getting points for the event. Now, I know that's you're like, well, but people are attacking me. They're hitting my tiles. What do I do? So if you get into a situation, let's say you're gathering and people are like, nope, I want that level 4 tile because there's not one close to me. And they attack your level 4 tile and you lose it. Well, go find an open tile. If you're having trouble finding an open tile and there's a lot of combative players, then I recommend trying to relocate to an area where it's not as congested. Remember, everybody's going to play this game differently. Not everybody watches my videos. Not everybody plays the way I play. But I ranked 6th in Nukaland and I didn't attack anyone. There were collisions and things like that, but that's not my intent. My intent in Nukaland is to gather as much resources as possible so that I get the maximum reward. That should be your intent too. So now, what if they're going to hit your sanctuary? One of the most important things that you need to understand is that you are probably going to have your sanctuary hit. It's probably going to happen. You have to be ready for it. So that actually goes back to preparation. What can you do if you're expecting to get hit? You can empty your resources into your alliance warehouse. Okay, make sure that you're storing all your excess resources, which you should be doing all the time anyways. Constantly storing resources above your warehouse cap. If you don't know what your warehouse cap is, come in here into your sanctuary, look at your warehouse. This tells you exactly how much you can have, and make sure you have your military talent sets or whatever set up, because my balance set I can hold more, my military set I can hold less. But this tells me how much food, wood, steel, and gas I can have protected. As you can see, all of my numbers are under those numbers. Okay, so that means that they're not going to take anything out of this top bar. The only thing they're going to take when they hit are these uncollected resources. Okay, and that's okay. They took my uncollected resources. Not the end of the world. I'll get that stuff back in an hour or two, just sitting here doing nothing, or I can go out and gather it. So you don't want to use emotion or worry about that. And you say, well, they're killing all my troops. It happens. You're going to lose a lot of troops. And that brings me to the next point about gathering. So when you're sending out your marches, it's important to remember that riders have the fastest march time, which means that they're the quickest to get from point A to point B. So I typically use my riders for sending out to resource spots. And if I was to go ahead and send this, as you can see, like let's say I want to gather this lumber mill, I can choose how many I send out. So what I really want to do is just send out a few of my riders. Now, technically speaking, you can send out one troop, and that's all that's required to gather the max from that ore. Unlike when you're gathering resources on the world map where you can see the gatherable is only 27, I have to actually send enough to gather all of it. In Nuka, one troop will gather the entire mine, so you don't have to worry about sending out a lot, but I recommend sending out a few thousand, say 10, 12, 20, 30,000. And the reason for that is because if someone does hit your sanctuary, you still have thousands of troops out gathering, that when they come back, you'll still be able to send out 4 or 5 marches. And you'll always be able to send out 4 or 5 marches, even if you have to send out less troops the next time and less troops the next time, without having to spend resources on heals. So that's the most important thing. We don't want to waste resources. If we're not going to be battling it out, we don't need to heal our troops. So when your troops go to the state infirmary, when you leave, you get all of them back for free. It doesn't cost you anything. So don't heal. Another reason you don't want to heal is because a lot of times the only reason people are hitting sanctuaries inside of events like Nukaland is either one, they don't know how to play the event, or two, they're looking for resources, or they're looking to add casualties to their record. As you can see here, I have 32 million casualties. That's the amount of casualties I've caused to other people. So 32 million, maybe I want a higher number. Maybe I'm trying to shoot for 50 million. There is a rank for that. People do that, and you have to expect that. If you're not healing your troops and they're hitting you and they're not getting any resources and they're not getting any kills, it's either, hopefully, they're going to leave you alone because there's no benefit to them for doing that. They're not getting points for the event, they're not getting casualty kills, and they're not getting resources. So why would they continue to do it? So let them hit you. It's okay. Absorb the attack. You send out 10, 20,000 troops to each resource spot. You're gathering. You got all 5 marches gathering the entire time, and you just keep doing that. And if people hit you, ignore them. Now, if they're tile hitting you and hitting your sanctuary and it's like they're trying to clean you out, maybe they're trying to get you to move because there's too many people and they're not having an easy time getting resources either. If you're not able to combat that, then bounce. Find another location. There's, look on the map, open the map up just like this. And again, we're pretending this is Nuka, and just click a different part of the map. See what's going on there. Oh, look, there's, one sanctuary. He's not very big, a bunch of resource spots. Okay, let me relocate here. You get a couple free relocates. So, and the other thing I want to mention with that, if you're trying to avoid a big guy hitting you and you do the direct relocate, that does work. It will avoid the hit, but it automatically withdraws all your gatherers. Okay, you don't want to do that. Even if it's near the end, if you're like, I haven't been hit and this guy's going to hit me, I'm going to withdraw. Don't do it. You're losing points. So every time you gather, if I gather from this gas field and it's an ore mine, and I recall early before it absorbs all of it, before I gather all of it, then I don't get the bonus for gathering the entire mine. Now, even if the mine has been partially mined, okay, like let's say this one, and it's down to 6,100. If I go and mine that, I still get a bonus for the 6,100 if I mine the entire thing and clear the tile. So you get a bonus for clearing the tile. I wonder if I have any. No, I erased them. But you get a bonus for clearing the tile. That's where you're actually going to get a lot of the points. So that being said, if you're just gathering, okay, you're probably not going to reach this, phase 11, 100,000 points. I hate to say it, you're not going to reach the top. I only got 70,000 points, and I did very well. I gathered almost entirely level 4 mines, and I had 5 gathering troops out the entire time. And I think I did the math, and it's about 75,000, maybe with bonus, a little bit lucky, maybe up to 80,000. But I don't even think you can get 80,000 just by gathering. You have to get the ore boxes in the middle. But there's no way I can compete with the top might player in the game. I'm nowhere near that. So don't worry about that so much. What you want to do is get the most points possible so that you get the most rewards possible, so that you can get, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at each one of these phases, past 6 is dropping a hero choice card. And then when you rank, if you get even in the top 80, you're getting a bonus 3 cards. If you get in the top 20, you're getting 10. So that's what I want. I want those frags. I want those choice cards. If you get in the top 10 like I did, you even get a frame. And it's the same frame, except for fewer days, as being in the top 3. Okay? So you definitely want to do as well as you can, but you can't worry about what other people are doing. And that kind of brings me to my final point. Play the event, not the players. Other players want to be aggressive, want to tile hit, they want to fight over tiles. Let them. Don't do what they're doing, because what they're doing is not going to put them on the leaderboard. If they want to hit sanctuaries, that's fine. Let them. They're not going to get anything from you if you prepare correctly. You're going to put everything in your alliance warehouse. You're going to have on anti-scout. You're going to have on troop attack and defense boosts, at least 10%. And you're going to make sure that you're gathering max marches all the time. If you do that, you're going to do the best in the game as possible, and everyone else that's fighting and playing the game incorrectly is going to be allowing you to move up the ranks because you're getting max rewards and they're not. And that's how you play the event and not the player. So quick other notes. You are probably going to get hit if you're lower on the tier. And near the end, you might be inclined to say, oh, time's almost out, let me recall my troops. Don't. Let your troops gather until it kicks you out of the mine. I can't confirm it because I forgot to check, but I think if it kicks you out, it considers it as max gathering and you get the bonus points. But even if you don't, you gather the entire time, you're getting the max or possible period. So if you see people last couple minutes, they start with pulling their troops back and then going out and attacking sanctuaries, let them do them. That's okay. They want to hit you, let them hit you. It's going to happen. Max gather for max points for max rewards. That's how you're going to do best in Nukaland. You get all your troops back for free anyways. Don't worry about what other players are doing. And when you get higher up in rank and might and you're able to compete, then start going for those ore boxes, and that's a whole different topic that I'm not going to get into in this video. I just want you guys to know it is possible to rank high and get max rewards, maybe not the max, but the max for you rewards in Nukaland by playing the event smart and not catering to bad emotions and other players playing the game differently. It's their choice to not get max rewards. Make it your choice to gather and get the max rewards. I really hope that helps, guys. Give the video a like if it does. Subscribe to my channel if you want to continue seeing content like this. And as always, thanks for watching.